Those involved in the study of text would be familiar with the concept of PARDES, the concept that the text can be understood at the pshat level, the remez level, the drush level, and the sod level. As of the year 2020, we have a proliferation of YouTubes that present Torah on any one of the four levels. I would argue that a very high percentage of these YouTubes are concerned less with the actual text and more with promoting a particular agenda. Very often, they accompany a please donate button at the top corner of the website. They certainly have a role to play in today's society, a society which unfortunately is textually illiterate and hence do not possess the skills for serious text study. The format is generally the same, beginning with we have the story of XYZ, we have a pasuk, and from there we move into the agenda that the speaker wishes to promote. What really should happen is that we start with the pshat, applying the dictum of Ein Mikra Yotze Midei Pshuto. Very often, however, there are problems and inconsistencies with the pshat, which number in the thousands. It is from the inconsistencies of the Pshuta Shel Mikra that we have the entire Torah Sheba'al Peh system that attempts to address the inconsistencies as code in the form of remez, allegory, in the form of drash, interpretation, and finally, on the most difficult, the use of the Kabbalah in addressing the textual deficit. And just as remez and drush do not present themselves as standalones, independent of the pshat, so too the sod in the form of Kabbalah and its application in the form of Chassidut do not function as standalone topics, but rather comes to address the anomalies that are found in pshat. Kabbalah, however, functions in a very different plane than that of remez and drush. We have identified problems with the hanotein sechvi bina bracha with respect to somebody who actually does not hear the crow of the rooster. We've had a raft of problems with the bracha of pokeach ivrim. And finally, we come to the matir asurim, where we have identified a number of problems. And in particular, how does one relate a bracha that basically states that God frees the captives to sitting up in bed, so that when we exhaust the remez and the derush options, if they exist, we might then turn to the Kabbalah to see if there is a response from the standpoint of the Kabbalistic writings. And for this I turn to the Chabad.org website, where one will find a Kabbalistic interpretation for almost all of the tefillot of Shacharit. There is an entry for the bracha of Matir Asurim, commentary from the Torah Chaim, which we shall look at in the next panel.